Hello friends, today I am discussing about definition, scope and importance of environmental science studies and its relationship with other sciences. First of all, I will discuss about the ecology. Ecology is the branch of biology which deals with the study of relationship between living beings and their environments. Sociology also is the studies of a relationship between man and environment through ecology. Field of study of human ecology in sociology is centered on man and its environment. The credit of beginning of study of human ecology in the field of sociology goes to Park and Burgers. Now I am discussing about meaning and definition of environment. The word environment comes from the French word environia, means to surround. It refers to both abiotic, physical or non-living, and biotic, that is living environment. The word environment means surroundings in which organisms live. Ordinarily, environment refers to the materials and forces that surround the living organism. It consists of atmosphere, that is cover of air, hydrosphere means water portion, lithosphere means soil portion, and biosphere means organism, living organism. Now, according to P. Gisbert, environment is anything immediately surrounding an object and exerting a direct influence on it. According to Boring, a person's environment consists of the sum total of the stimulation which he receives from his conception until his death. Environment comprises various types of forces such as physical, intellectual, economic, political, cultural, social, moral and emotional. Environment is the sum total of all these external forces, influences and conditions which affect life, nature, behavior and growth, development and the maturation of the living organisms. According to E. J. Ross, environment is an external force which influences us. Douglas and Holland, the term environment is used to describe in aggregate all the external forces, influences and conditions which affect the life, nature, behavior. By all these, we can conclude that environmental science is nothing but environmental science may be defined as a branch of science focused on the study of relationship of the natural world and the relationship between organisms and their physical, chemical and biological components or phenomena of environments. Now, what are the components of environment? Generally, we study that atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere and biosphere are the component, but roughly we can divide it in micro and macro environment. Micro environment refer to the immediate local surroundings of the organism, but in macro environments refer to all the physical and biotic conditions that surrounds the organism externally. What is the physical environment? That means all the abiotic factors or conditions like temperature, light, rainfall, soil, minerals, etc. It comprises of atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere. Now, biotic environment, it includes all the biotic factors, all living forms like plant, animals, microorganisms. It comes under the biosphere. Now, environmental studies is a multidisciplinary science because it comprises various branches of studies like chemistry, physics, medical science, life science, agriculture, public health, sanitary, engineering, etc. It is the science of physical phenomena in the environment. It studies the sources, reactions, transport, effect and fate of the physical and biological species in the air, water and soil, and the effect of form human activity upon these. Now, the environmental science can alive a substantive active field of the scientific investigation in 1960s and 70s, driven by a need of multidisciplinary approach to analyze complex environmental problems. The arrival of substantive environmental laws requiring specific environmental protocols, national or international level of the investigation. And third one is the growing public awareness of the need for action in addressing environmental problems. Events like publication of Rachel Carlson's landmark environmental book Silent Spring, along with major environmental issues, become very public. In 1969, Santa Barbara oil spills and the Cuyahoga River of Cleveland, Ohio, catching fire in 1969. All these focused on the study of environment and environmental studies in multidisciplinary approaches. Now, what are the scope of environmental science? First of all, the conservation of nature and natural resources. Second, the conservation of biological diversity. Third one is control of environmental pollution. Fourth one is stabilization of human population and environment. Social issues in relation to development and environment. Development of non-polluting renewable energy system and providing new dimension to nation's security. Now, importance of environmental science. What are the importance of environmental science? Actually, environment belongs to all the living beings. Each and everybody is affected by the environmental issues like global warming, ozone layer depletion, deforestation, loss of global biodiversity, etc. All these are not only for one, but it's all over the world. It is a time to discuss about these things. Environment study deals with water, air, land, soil and organism which leads to pollute or degrade environment. All these are interrelated to each other, and organisms, especially men, affect the whole environment by their activities. It deals with important issues like safe and clean drinking water, hygienic living conditions and clean and fresh air, fertility of land, healthy food and the development. The sustainable environmental laws, business administration, environmental protection, management, and environmental engineering are the emerging and new career opportunities for the environment protection and the management. Now, environmental studies. Environmental studies is nothing but it is the environmental science along with the society. And we can define it. The environmental studies can be defined as the branch of study concerned with environmental issues and social aspect of environment. It deals with science where needed, but that are understandable to non-scientific community also. A scope of environmental studies. There are multiple scope of environmental studies. This study important and necessary not only for children who are studying, but also for everyone, every person. The scopes are summarized as below. The study creates awareness among the people to know about various renewable and non-renewable sources of the region. What are the renewable and non-renewable sources? We will discuss next time. The endowment of or potential pattern of utilization and the balance of various resources available for the future use in the state of the country and analyzed in the study. It provides the knowledge about ecological system and cause and effect relationship. It provides necessary information about biodiversity richness and the potential danger to the species of plant, animal and microorganism in the environment. The study enables one to understand the cause and consequences due to natural and man-made, included like disasters like flood, earthquake, landslides, cyclones, etc. and pollution and measures to minimize these effects like disasters and pollutions. It enables one to evaluate alternative response to environmental issues before deciding an alternative course of action. The study enables environmentally literate citizens to knowing the environmental acts, rights, rules, legislation, etc. to make appropriate judgment and decision for the protection and improvement of the earth. The study exposed the problem of overpopulation, health hygiene, etc., and the role of art, science, and technology in eliminating or minimizing the effects from the society. The study tried to identify the develop appropriate and indigenous eco-friendly skill and technologies to various environmental issues. It teaches the citizen the need for sustainable utilization of resources, as these resources are inherited from our ancestors to younger generation without deteriorating their quality. It means in sustainable way. The study enables theoretical knowledge into practical way and the multiple uses of the environment. What are the segments of environment? We have studies the four segments: the atmosphere, where the air part which covers to the earth, and next is hydrosphere, the water portion like ocean, rivers, ponds, etc. in hydrospheres. Now we discuss now the third one is the lithosphere. Lithospheres deals with the soils and lands, and fourth one is biosphere, means living organisms included in these portions. Now elements of environment, there are three elements of environment. First, the physical elements like air, temperature, humidity, light, etc., and biological elements like living organisms, man, animals, microorganisms, plants, etc. And third one is cultural elements. Culture means society. What society gives to the environment and what is take from the environment. All these are elements of environment. Now, importance of environmental studies. First of one is environmental issues being internationally important. As we discussed earlier about global warming, ozone depletion, acid rain, marine pollution, and biodiversity are not national issues, but are the transboundary global issues. It is these things are not bounded to one country. If there is problem in India, then it may go to the Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Indian Ocean, and all these things will be affected. Developmental aspects like urbanization, industrial growth, transportation system, modern agriculture and housing and construction, all these are also contribute in the environmental problems like urbanization, industrial growth, the causes of pollutions, these things that it should be concerned in environmental study to know the students or people, general people, about the what are the consequences of these things. Population is the great problem for these for the environment. If population increase, mean the land, there is a limited portion of land is there for sustaining the growing population. Then if population increases, then the requirement of land will be more, but we have the limited land, then pressure will be more. Actually, India has about 17.7% of world population and only 2.4% of land area, which show heavy pressure on the natural resources, including land. Extensive agriculture, for the fulfilling of the food, we have to do extensive agriculture, which creates a lot of soil health problems like deficiency of micronutrient, organic matter, soil salinity, damage of soil structure and desertification, etc. Need for alternative solution. Then what we have to do as alternative for, like environmentally sound and sustainable development, we have to choose the environmentally sound and sustainable development. We have to promote 3R concept, which include reduce the use of natural non-renewable sources, then whatever the waste is there, then we should reuse that waste, and afterward, whatever the waste will be there, then recycle it for the further use. Then we have to minimize the waste. Then planning of development should be sustainable way, keeping in mind about natural resources, ecosystem, biodiversity. Means when we do it in sustainable way, there will be where we conserve natural resources, we can also protect our ecosystem and loss of biodiversity, etc. Public awareness is most important part of this environmental studies. Then public are most protecting our environment and the earth. As we know that population growth, we have to check it. Then poverty is also very crucial for the environmental way, because we also know that poor people doesn't know clearly about the environment and how to protect it. If they know also, then because of poverty they can do the good things. Then intensive agriculture, for the fulfilling of food we have to do intensive agriculture. That is also problem. Then in the intensive agriculture we have to include like organic farming and mixed farming, like that. And groundwater, there is pollution in groundwater due to agriculture and other things, that we have to protect it. Now deforestation, for the agriculture work or other things like construction, growing industry, roads, other transportation like rail, we have do the deforestation, but we have to check it, and we know people should know about this and aware about this. Then degradation of land. In India, out of 329 million hectare of land, only 266 million has potential for production, but only in 143 million hectare is agriculture land. 40 million hectare are completely unproductive. Remaining 83 million is classified as a forest. About India is about land of 536 million livestock, and it is supported by only 13 million hectare. Less than 4% of the land is classified as pasture land, most of which is overgrazed, and land is degrading. Reorientation of institution, like change in education system, in the attitude, in the administrative procedure, and the institutions should be taken care, because it will be effective way to aware people to view technologies, resources, and development environment friendly. Now reduction of genetic resources, people measures to conserve genetic resources need to be taken. At present, most wild genetic stocks has been disappearing from the nature. The protected area network like sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserves are isolating populations. Remedial steps are taken to check the decreasing genetic resources. Now bad consequences of urbanization. Actually, India has only about 27% in urban area. Urbanization land leads to industrialization, and they create great number of environmental problems which need urgent attention. In India, nearly about 30% of urban live in slums. Only few towns and cities have partial or full sewerage and treatment facility. That means in urbanization there is more pollution, either air or water or land pollution. Now air and water pollution, we all little bit know about the air and water pollution, and all these things will be discussed in further chapters in my discussion, and I think that you will be benefited for these videos. This is my first video about the environmental science or studies. Next video I will discuss each and everything. This is the introduction video and introduction class about environmental studies and science. If you like it, then you like my video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.